What I'm excited to announce, though, is that episode 1, this isn't an announcement of an announcement. No, episode 1 will be releasing on the 6th of April.
Yeah, well, that didn't work out too well, did it? But it's the start of something completely new. On this channel, over the next while, you're going to see how we develop a completely new, original game. It's going to be quite the journey, so let's get stuck in. WoW Tales failed. We scrambled to another project, and it did take us to Germany to Gamescom. But it was not going to work. We were not doing things right. So December 2017 hits and we decide to stop. We could make the parts, but we could not assemble them into the machine that we needed. So we killed the project and we spent a month thinking and a month planning. When the new year ticked over, well, we were pretty much ready to go, ready to commence a new project, a new direction, and most importantly, the lessons of hindsight. Okay, right. It's June. That was all January and December. What the hell have we been doing for the last 6 months? And what are we going to be doing for the next few? Well, luckily enough, I have this. Back in 2017, we had a game idea called How to Kill Monsters and Influence People. Yeah, really rolled off the tongue. Now, it had an awesome world, but the gameplay genre wasn't a great fit and we struggled to find the fun. So after running some tests on real-time movement, how that would feel, we settled on it. Our next project, it would be a real-time combat, action RPG, kind of fighting game in a world that would be similar to our previous work. So let's start there with the world. So what is this world? Well, I've only just announced the thing, so it's a little bit early to spoil what's really under the surface, but here's our premise. It's an entirely fictional world where you play as the last remnants of humanity. It's a post-society where everyone has been driven back to a monolithic tower in the sea by a threat that they did not see coming. Technology has developed along a different path to how it has here. Really, when you're trying not to die, thinner consumer electronics with rubbish battery life don't really come first. So what is the threat? Well, no one knows its origin, but it started years ago, when an anomaly was first spotted on the planet's moon. Soon after that, corruption began to spread from the North Pole. It twisted the local animals and only got more extreme with the emergence of great beasts that seemed more like walking weapons than anything natural. So the nations of man began to fall, and they eventually all retreated to the tower itself, something mysterious in nature. That's all fine. But what do you actually do? That's a very good question, and we're going to explain it in 2 parts. First, the context. So you want to find out what is the source of this problem, how do we end it? To do that, you need to reach the other side of the planet where the source is. Once you're there, well, who knows what you'll have to do. You're going to begin with a basic mech. And you're first going to go out. The mech's going to be controlled by you and it's going to head out into the world. You're going to explore from region to region, getting all that you can, defeating enemies, upgrading yourself, finding survivors, and beaming new schematics back to base. Eventually, though, you will die, but the fight will go on. A new mech, a new pilot, all built upon the work of your previous run. The information you learned, the ways in which you changed the world, and the new blueprints that you unlocked. Along the way, you're actually going to be changing the world permanently as you essentially run humanity's war effort. It's going to be familiar to those of you who have played games in the roguelite genre, but you'll see a lot more longer-lasting interactivity overall in the state of the game world in between runs. As for the gameplay itself, though, well, that's a massive topic, and I can't wait to dive into it in a lot of detail, but for now, it is real-time, and it's blending action RPG, brawler, and fighter into something that will feel uniquely tailored to the fantasy that we want to craft with this game. And that's pretty much the very overview, top-level view of what the game is. You're going to find out a lot more as time goes on. So that's a lot of stuff. It's more than me and my co-founder can do, so we needed a team. The good thing is, we had a few people in mind. But before that, who is we? So you might remember the first time I talked about game dev. The we, the other person, that is Thomas. He is my co-founder. We have been working together since university back in 2012. As for the full team though, well, we've got Jess. We worked with Jess first during her placement year about 3 years ago, and that's when we started doing games work. Jess will be doing animation and illustration. Then we have Matt. At the ripe old age of 25, Matt is the dinosaur of the group. He was a year ahead of me and Thomas at university, and he is programming. And then finally, we contract out illustration to Ethan. As for me, well, I split my time between broad design, managing the team, making sure everything is running smoothly, and of course the YouTube channel that most of you know me from. So that's the game, and that's the people who are going to make the game. How the hell are we going to pay for all of this? Well, we applied to the UK Games Fund Transfuser program. £5,000 for 10 weeks of development, but more importantly, industry contacts, mentorship, and a foot in the door. That's not enough money to cover the costs of a team for that amount of time, so I've been doing a bit more promo work on YouTube, stuff like Audible and Skillshare that you might have noticed. Now, that's all great, but the real goal is to get this to a stage where we can fully scale up production. Our big break, potentially, is at the end of Transfuser. We're going to be demoing at EGX. We'll have an opportunity to talk to publishers and to show the public what we've got. So it's a massive opportunity, but it's on us to make use of it. Over the coming weeks, you're going to get a glimpse into the development process. You're going to see how the game prototype comes together, the wins, the losses, and all of the fun problem solving that's going to go into working through all of that. Right now, we've got back-end systems, we've got a bit of a combat prototype, we've got art prototypes, but what we need to do over these 10 weeks is bring all of those together and make it awesome and turn it into a demo that proves that the overall game is something that is feasible to make and can be a boatload of fun. That essentially is the challenge of this 10 weeks and what you are going to be seeing in this game development series. So be sure to subscribe to this channel. There will be videos every 1 to 2 weeks over the next while. And also check out our Twitter, because over there we're going to be sharing a hell of a lot of art and stuff like that. So thank you for watching episode 1, and I cannot wait to see you next time.